Awesome. So we're joined with Natalya Newman. Hi, Natalya.
Hello.
And Leighton, as per usual. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Always a pleasure, Leighton. All right. So Natalya, do you want to just kind of introduce yourself? Just let everyone know who you are.
Sure. So my name is Natalya Newman. I am the board chair on the board of directors for the Student Association. I just finished my last year of business admin marketing and officially moved to North Bay, where hopefully after all this is over and I can start looking for a job here.
Nice. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Congratulations on graduating.
Thank you.
Yeah, to both of you.
Graduation.
Yeah. Well, we'll get compensated for our last time.
So Natalya, are you, tell us a bit about your role as chair on the board and just what being involved with the board has meant to you and why you thought it was important to get involved in the first place.
Sure. So as board chair, I kind of lead our conversations. So like at a meeting, I would run the whole board meeting and I would get other people to talk when I ask them to. Right now it's a bit different. The same, but we all have been taking more of a lead role just because it's hard that we're all in different spots. So we need everyone to like bring their A game. I have loved being on the board. I never would have thought I'd ever would have taken that opportunity. Like when I ran in the election 2 years ago, I guess, I didn't really know what I was running for. Like I knew the aspect of it, but like I didn't know all of the stuff that it entailed. And I remember sitting in on a few meetings at the beginning and I had no idea what was happening and I was really confused. But since Elle and I are such good friends and she worked for the Student Association, we were able to like discuss and I would ask her so many questions because it was just, there was a lot going on. And now I love it. Like I couldn't imagine not have been being on the board last year. So it's definitely opened my eyes to like a lot more of like the legal marketing, not the legal business side of things, which like I'm more interested in like design marketing. So I think it's kind of rounded me out a bit, which is nice.
Yeah, it's always good to kind of see the operational side of like any business you work for. So it's definitely a good experience. And you've done a great job. We're going to miss you so much. I can hear Beth crying already.
Yeah.
Are you done? I thought you were coming back.
So I am done. I thought about going back. I applied actually for the BBA program and also for the digital marketing communications, I think it's called, the old IMC. They just changed the name.
Yeah.
But after like a lot of thought and disappointing Elle because we were gonna live together and stuff, but yeah. I decided to not go back. I think that I wouldn't. The BBA, like even though sitting on the board and I've learned operational marketing and stuff like that, it's not my strong suit. Like accounting is, I'm not good at accounting, and there'd be a lot of accounting in the BBA for me. So I decided not to go that route. And then I really like IMC, but I thought I could take online courses that maybe wouldn't be as expensive and I would be able to do it in North Bay and not have to stay in Kingston and not have to pay for like rent there if it lived here in the summer. So like it just made more sense not to, even though I was very sad not staying.
Yeah. It's fine. You're not terribly far away.
5 hours.
I mean,
yeah, it's a good drive.
Yeah, it's not a nice drive, but it's fun.
Yeah. So, yeah, I will definitely echo that sentiment. Going from marketing administration to the BBA was a challenge for me as well. And you're right, it will be a bit more finance, accounting heavy. But there's tutors, there's support groups, there's a lot of stuff. But I wrestled with that decision as well. And kudos to you for for kind of making that choice. I know Elle will be joining me next year. We might have a few classes together because everything's kind of crazy switched out in the BBA. So yeah, I just want to echo I think you've done a great job as well. I've sat in on a few of the board meetings, and I know we'll miss you and your personality next year. So
thank you.
that's again. Yeah.
Thank you.
What do you think is your biggest takeaway from working on the board? What's your biggest kind of thing that you're most proud of?
That's
kind of putting you on the spot.
Yeah. This might not be like the greatest answer, but I think like, and I've learned this throughout all of college, is like teamwork. Like, especially with working, like it's us as a board, but it's also everyone who works in the SA. Like we had to communicate what we were saying to Beth, who then passes it to her employees. So like if we didn't like sit there and finalize and agree on what we were talking about, the year wouldn't have worked out. Like we went through a lot of ups and downs, and I don't think any of us would be on the board if we didn't sit there and talk about each of our thoughts and stuff, because of course we disagreed on a lot of things, but we were able to work out like an end result that everyone agreed on. And yeah, I think that would be my biggest takeaway, is just like working in a team and like making sure that you're listening to the other person, and if they're not listening to your side of it, be like, please listen to my side. Like this is something we all have to agree on. So I think, yeah, teamwork.
Yeah, that was definitely noticeable. The different personalities, different ages coming together on the board to kind of work together, and communication, we've heard it 100 times, is key.
Yeah.
That's definitely something that we've kind of noticed on the podcast, getting this live 3 times a week too, is just the organization behind the scenes, getting guests booked and everything. Team communication is vital. So I'll definitely echo that for sure.
For sure, especially when you're not in the same place. Like with the podcast has been challenging. Like we have to make sure, like I think I asked Leighton what the schedule is like every single week, because I just never know. And he's like, oh, I literally sent you the schedule so many times. I'm like, just tell me.
That's another part of like my job as chairs. I like organize all the like book all the meetings and stuff. So like during the school year, that was getting everyone's schedule and like making sure we were all available at the same time. And now it's like some people are working, some people are at home. So like I'm available really whenever because I don't have much going on, but like Tyler has a full-time job, so it's like hard to organize, like, and people are always missing meetings because they like forgot about it or like they didn't get the notification. So like it's definitely been a struggle to like book meetings now, and it was during the school year. So you just gotta stay on top of everything.
Yeah, because the board has switched online, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So how is that, and how do you think it's going to go with like the new board? Because I know the new board is starting come June. So what do you think that transition is going to be like?
Yeah. So currently we have weekly Teams meetings with like some of the SA staff, and my board gets information from them about what's going on, just to make sure that we're kept in the loop. And then we also have still been having our monthly meetings, and all the new board members who will be starting their term in June have been sitting on those too. So they've been joining us. They don't get a vote yet, but they are able to like give us give us their opinion, and we definitely take that into consideration because they're going to be the ones having to do the exact same, because no one's going to be back to the college probably until, let's hope, August.
Yeah.
So, hopefully.
Yeah. So they're going to have to start online, which like is going to be hard for them. But we have 3 board members who are staying on, so that will help because they've had the whole year to kind of get their role in the board. And Lindsay and I, who aren't going to be on the board anymore, have offered our like help, so like they can come to us whenever they want, and we'll be able to give them like recommendations and stuff, just so that they feel like they're not scrambling to like figure everything out, because it is like a struggle at the beginning, just with learning like all our bylaws and policies. So we want to make sure that they transition well. for everyone, because we don't want them to be overwhelmed. We don't want the essay to be overwhelmed. So I think it will go well. We have some really good new board members, and they've been asking a lot of questions in our meetings and stuff. So I think the transition will go smoothly, but it will definitely be different than usual.
I agree. Yeah, we're hoping to have some of the new board members on this very podcast in June once they're sworn in. Kind of trial by fire type of thing. I think it'll be fun. So without kind of releasing, the private information that the essay holds, the financials, all that kind of stuff, could you maybe tell us what are some of the projects that you guys kind of collaborate on the board?
Yeah, I can.
Maybe.
So, well, yeah. It's hard. We go through a lot of things throughout the year. A cool one is funding. So people can request funding through the board, and they have to come and give a presentation to us, and we decide if we think the money is well deserved. So that's a project that happens, I guess, at the end of the year, which is my favorite because I loved other people coming and giving us their ideas, which is really cool. And then I think it's like almost monthly we run through I don't know if it's monthly, maybe it's a little spaced out more, but financial stuff. So like Brian, the accountant, will come to us and like tell us everything financial, and I won't get into too many details, and then we like pass a motion on it and decide as a group if we agree on everything. And so I guess that's kind of a project because that happened.
Yeah. And basically anything that myself and Beth do, the board has to okay it. So you can almost say that a lot of our projects are a board project too.
Yeah, I know.
They're our boss.
Because like we have little projects, but then we also like orientation, or like the new board members would get training. So like that's a project that Allie, an essay staff, works on, but like brings all her ideas to us, and then we finalize it. So there's definitely a lot of projects that go through the board throughout the year, different ones.
Yeah, there must be tons, eh?
Yeah, a lot. I'm thinking of so many in my head.
Yeah.
Did you have a favorite that you kind of worked on or worked towards that you could share with us?
Yeah, it was definitely the funding, the groups coming in and giving their presentations to us.
That's too bad with the like the nurses, that kind of stuff.
Where were they going? Tanzania,
and then another one was going to
Nipigon.
Yeah, so like
First Nations.
I guess it's my favorite, but it's sad now this year because of everything happening. They didn't get to do it.
Yeah.
But I just liked them coming and giving us their like ideas. Like it was really cool. Like I knew of the nursing trip, but I didn't really know the work that had to go into it before. So I think that was my favorite.
Yeah, it's definitely super interesting. And all of those students they're for sure going to be able to go next year.
Yeah.
So they have all they're holding their spots for them. So like usually when you do the nursing, you have to apply to go to Tanzania and get approval and stuff like that. So all of those students that were supposed to go are still going to be able to go next year.
Yeah.
Which is a plus side, I guess. Silver lining.
That's good. Were some of them not graduating then? I guess most of them would have been.
Most of them are in third year.
Okay.
There might have been a couple fourth years. I'm not really sure.
I know the one that was going to the northern Canada. I think they were all third years.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure they'll be able to do it next year. I don't know about Tanzania though.
I hope they get to go. It's such a cool thing to learn about. I know the School of Business has a few opportunities. I know there's the gathering that the AMC group gets to go to. But I mean, if you're a nurse and you're practicing as a student, to be able to go to another country or even a First Nations settlement, I just think it must be really, really fulfilling. And I'll just be honest with you guys, it made me proud that I was part of an organization that was supporting those initiatives. And it's really is a shame that kind of wasn't able to go ahead this year. So hopefully they get to go next year.
Yeah, I know. Me too. That's what I agreed with. It made me feel good that we were providing funding to these groups who were doing something really good in the world. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what I loved about it.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. So you're in North Bay with your spouse. How have you guys been coping personally on a personal level?
Yeah, so my boyfriend Connor, he works for TransCanada Pipelines, or I guess they call themselves TC Energy now. So he currently is like an essential worker, so he goes to work every single day, which I'm proud of because none of us would probably have heat in our house if they stopped going. But this is the first time we've ever lived together, so obviously I've gotten used with this. Has been, I guess it's been over a month now, almost, I guess 2 months basically, that I've been living here. So we've definitely adjusted to being in the same spaces. It was difficult at first because I'm like very OCD and like need things done a certain way. And he also is OCD and needs things done a certain way, but like we like things differently. So it was just, it was hard at first, but I've let things slide and he's let things slide that I want done. So
That's good.
Yeah.
Compromise, and like we said before, communication is key. So
yeah.
How has quarantine kind of affected you guys in North Bay? Is there still a lot of strict social distancing issues? I know here in Kingston, unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, there was a police patrol that was going around the city walkways just to make sure people were kind of social distancing and there was no big gatherings more than 5 people. Are you seeing that kind of thing up there?
So Kingston was definitely hit harder than North Bay. I think in total we only had 12 cases here, and I think we have 2 left or something like that. But all of our parks are still closed. Trails are still closed. I go for an 8-kilometer walk every single day down to a park in around. And every single day I see a police car drive down there to make sure no one's on the playground. So definitely they've put all the measures in place here, like all the grocery stores. Even though we haven't been affected, knock on wood, that bad. The police here are definitely doing their job, which is nice to see. And people are staying, I haven't seen big groups or anything like that. Like people are definitely social distancing here, which is good.
That's good.
Yeah,
it's always hard in Kingston when we have nice days. I think that's when it gets a little bit risky because everyone wants to go outside, like go to the parks and things like that. So I think that you will see a little bit more police work around, which isn't a bad thing because hopefully this can all be over soon.
Yeah, I agree, especially with us being so close to the water. We're in such beautiful part of Ontario. It sucks to be stuck inside when the lake's a kilometer away, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Connor and I actually live on the water here in Lake Nipissing, so and it's beach, like it's all sand, so it's freezing though. The ice just melted like a week ago.
Crazy.
Sounds like we might have to come up for a visit when this is all over. Beach, right?
Yeah. So we've luckily been able to like still enjoy the beach and stuff, and we have kayaks, so we started going in them, which is nice. But I couldn't imagine being in Kingston and like not being able to go to the pier on the first sunny day and stuff like that. Like I had memories on my phone the other day a year ago being at the pier, and it made me sad because it realized no one was there probably.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I know when I've seen your pictures of like the water, and it's so funny because I know when you were like, I'm moving to North Bay, I was like, why would anyone move to North Bay? And then now I'm like jealous because you're right on the water.
I know. People keep saying that to me, like, oh, you're in North Bay? Like, that's awful. And now, like, I couldn't imagine. I've only been here 2 months, and I couldn't imagine not living here. Like, it's beautiful. Like, the water here is so nice. And, like, I haven't been able to really experience anything really good about it. Because, like, one of the greatest things about North Bay is, like, their trails and stuff. And they're all blocked off right now. So, hopefully, once this has all passed, I'll be able to see some of the better things that North Bay is offering.
Yeah, that'll be nice for sure.
Hope so too. Yeah, I guess we're kind of lucky. I have friends in Toronto who are literally quarantined in their 700 square foot apartment, and it's awful. What do? You go for a walk around the block every day, but everything's closed. So I guess we're some of the lucky ones, guys, for sure.
I agree.
So now we asked this all our participants on the podcast. Let's say the quarantine was to lift tomorrow. What's the first thing you would do, or who would you go see first? Like, what are you looking forward to the most?
So I haven't seen my parents in a really long time, and my mom is like my best friend. So I think the first thing I would do would be to go home. We've like talked about like me driving there, because they're not going anywhere, and I haven't really done anything, but we're not doing it because we don't want to risk anything. But I miss them so much. So the first thing I would do would be to go home and see my parents, and then all my friends from home are there, so I'd be able to see them too, I think. That'd be my.
Are your parents in Kingston?
No, I'm from Campbellford.
Okay.
A little small town, where I've grown up.
There you go. So how did you end up in Kingston then?
Well, for school, I applied to a bunch of. So actually, if you want to know the story, I applied right out of high school and decided I didn't want to go, so I stayed back a year because I was such a homebody. And then I applied again the following year, and I was gonna go. I think I looked at a school in Sudbury, and my mom's like, "You didn't even want to leave last year. Like, how are you supposed to move 5 hours away?" So Kingston was like the perfect distance. So that's why I decided. And my mom was going there for work all the time, so I had gone up a few times with her, and she'd be able to come up like every month. So I picked Kingston.
Nice.
I'm glad you did.
I know.
All the wonderful people that you met.
I know, my life would be so different if I didn't go to Kingston. So
yeah, because you met Connor here too, right?
Yeah, I met Connor the first day I stayed in res. Yeah, he walked up to me and said, "Hi, I'm Connor," and shook my hand. And then 5 years later, here we are.
Did you think he was cute? Did you think he was cute right away, or did you have to take some time?
Honestly, I told him this the other day. I was like, I thought you were super strange, because like he was like the first. Like I was standing with two of my friends from home, and he like walks up to me and just shakes our hand, and I was like, "Who is this kid?" But yeah, and then we didn't start dating until like 3 years later. So.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. That's good.
And the rest is history.
And the rest is history.
Here we are.
Good. Well, hopefully this kind of situation gets put behind us soon. I'm really hopeful that we can be back full go for September for school, and you for finding full-time work. I want that for everybody. But as the kind of outgoing board of the chair, Nat, I'm going to put you on the spot one more time. What is kind of a message that you might have for the students going through this right now still at school?
Ooh. I think a big thing that like I've struggled with through this is I'm very lonely, just like not being able to see anyone. Like Connor goes to work every day, so I would say to all those students that like if you're laying in bed every single day or watching Netflix, go outside and take a walk, even if it's raining. Go outside, because like I just started going walking like in the last 2 weeks, and before that I was like every other day I cry because I missed everyone and hated it. And then now like I go on these long walks, and my favorite part is that I see other people on the other side of the street and they say like good morning to me or like hi, and I'm like, oh, there is other people in the world still. Like, so I think that just that little communication has like really boosted my mood. So I would say physical activity and some fresh air is like key during all this.
For sure.
Like, your distance at the same time.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a good takeaway and like a reminder for everyone. A consistent reminder that we definitely all need is just that we're all in this together. Like literally everyone's going through emotions. Like I don't know if you've seen some of those like memes and stuff online that are like, is anyone else just like either extremely happy or like extremely sad, and there's like no in between. Yeah. And they have like millions of likes. So it's like obviously people understand what we're all going through. So there's always people out there that you can connect with and reach out to.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like I've talked to people who I didn't really know before and just like seen something on their social media and been like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling that right now. Mm-hmm. Like I've started these connections that if the pandemic didn't happen, I probably wouldn't have had before. And I honestly think that once this is all over, every single person is going to be stronger because they've had to learn these skills that they never needed to have before. So yeah, it's really awful right now, but I think we're going to come out on the other side as stronger people and like have more thought towards others. I hope.
For sure.
I hope so too. I think there'll be a lot of good things that we take out of this quarantine and this pandemic that will you'll see implemented in society. I think a lot of more people will be working from home. I think there's going to be like even something as simple as the handshake. That's an antiquated, like that's an 18th century English tradition, right? So all that kind of stuff, it phased out, fist bump, all that kind of stuff. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of years. But
I know.
Sure.
it's we're literally living in a page of a history book right now, so it's kind of cool to think like that looking back.
I know.
Right?
Have you seen those like memes that are like the kid like in 2035 asks like, Dad, what was the coronavirus like or something?
Yeah.
Sometimes I wake up, I'm like, that's all fake, right? Like I've been dreaming this. Like, over that it's real.
Yeah. I can't even count the amount of dreams I had where I'm just like going out to eat or like just going to like see my aunt and my cousins. Like literally I texted my aunt this morning and I was like, you guys need to stop popping up in my dreams because I miss you and I don't need to see you when I go to sleep.
I know.
Dreaming about restaurants, eh?
Yeah, I have good dreams. I have good dreams where I'm like sitting outside on a patio drinking a beer and having French fries. I'm like, why am I craving that right now? Like, I could go somewhere and probably get French fries, but I'm like, I need the atmosphere of it.
It's not the same as like getting like, you know, you get like a little bit ready like than you normally would and you go out to eat and you order like a fancy drink that you wouldn't normally drink at home and just
Oh, the days.
The good old days.
The good old days of March.
Yeah. It was like 6 months ago though. It feels like
it does feel, it's weird because it feels like we've been in this forever, but at the same time, I feel like the weeks are going by so quickly. Like I swore it was Tuesday all day today. And like, it's already, the week's almost over.
Yeah, no kidding, eh? I agree with you. I think the days are going by quick, but it definitely feels like week 7 of this for us, for sure. I'm definitely feeling it. But
yeah,
for sure.
Days fly by.
Like I see some like good news coming out that like hopefully they'll be able to lift some restrictions in the future, which is good, and I hope they make the right decision on what they're going to lift. Like obviously we're not going to be going to restaurants and having a meal anytime soon, but it will be nice to be able to see our families.
That's true.
Well, thank you so much, Nat, for your time. How can people reach you if they have any questions for you before you vacate your position?
Yeah, so if you have any questions, I answer all the emails that come into the SA board director's email, and it's on the SA's website. I literally think it's sabod@sl.on.ca.
We'll put it in the YouTube link too.
Perfect. So if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to email me and I will get back to you. I have a lot of free time right now, so I'd love to hear from you guys.
That's great. That's great. Awesome.
I'm going to email you questions just to test you.
We'll fire you off on right now, yeah. Awesome. Okay, well, ladies, thank you so much for your time today. It was great to connect with you as always. Natalya, I hope you stay happy and healthy up there, and best of luck to you and your family, okay?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I've enjoyed this so much. I've wanted to do it for a while now, so thank you. And I hope you guys are enjoying your time with your family right now, so thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Natalya. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. We'll sign off.